Hey guys, this is Vamakshi here, and this is my second video on chemical kinetics. I had already made one, and I had covered the few initial topics of this chapter in the last video, like average rate, instantaneous rate, rate laws, and order or exponents. And I have tried my level best to explain those topics in the better manner. So in this video, we'll go ahead with the next few topics. The first topic for here is elementary reactions. So for elementary reactions, I'll take two type of reactions. Okay. So the first is simple reactions. Now, what are simple reactions? The reactions which take place in a single step are known as simple reaction. As you can see here, reactant A and reactant B reacts with each other to give you product AB. And this reaction is taken place in a single step. So this is a very simple reaction. Okay. I'll give you an example for this, which is an chemical equation. Here, ozone reacts with nitric oxide to give you nitrogen dioxide and oxygen gas. And this reaction has taken place only in a single step. So this is a simple reaction. Okay. I repeat again, simple reactions take place only in a single step. Now I'll compare simple reactions with other type of reactions, which is known as complex reactions. What are complex reactions? Complex reactions are those reactions where the reactant molecules exceed by the value of 3, like if the total number of reactant molecules are 3, so or if the total number of reactant molecules are more than 3, more specifically if they are more than 3, they are considered to be as complex reactions, and they are not taking place in the single step, so they go in the series of steps. Okay, so this is my general reaction of complex reactions. This is my overall reaction, and this overall reaction has taken place in 3 steps: step 1, step 2, and step 3. Okay, now how to write the overall reaction by seeing the 3 steps? I'll explain you this in the other slide. For now, you just remember that these are your uh, For now, you just remember that complex reactions are those reactions which take place when the sum of the reactant molecules are more than 3, and they take place in the series of steps, and these are your steps. Okay. For this also, I'll give you an example, which is again a chemical equation. So this is a chemical equation which has taken place in 2 steps, and this is your overall reaction. I repeat again, complex reactions are those reactions which happen when the reactant molecules uh, are equal to 3 or they are more than 3. Okay, the sum of the reactant molecules are equal to 3 or they are more than 3. Okay, and what are simple reactions? Simple reactions are those which in which the reactant molecule are less than 3. Okay, now, by this, I conclude that the steps involved in the complex reactions are known as the elementary steps, elementary reactions. Okay, I repeat again, the steps involved in the complex reactions are nothing but your elementary steps or elementary reactions. So here there are 3 elementary reactions, here there are 2 elementary reactions. Okay, so this is a conclusion. The steps followed by the complex reaction is known as the elementary reactions. Okay, I hope this part is clear with you all. I'll move to the next topic, which is known as reaction intermediates and molecularity. So for this, I'll again take the last example, which was in the last slide. Here you can see that the reaction has taken place in 3 steps, as I had explained it earlier. And now the thing to be noticed here is D is being formed in the first step and it is being consumed in the second step. Similarly, E is being formed in the second step and it is being consumed in the third step. The component which you observe, which is formed in the first step, which is formed in a first or initial step, okay, and it is immediately been consumed in the second step, those components are nothing but your reaction intermediates. Reaction intermediates are nothing those the components which are being formed in the first step and those are consumed in the second step. Okay, so here you can see that the component D is being formed in the first step and it is being consumed in the second step. Similarly, E is being formed in the first step and E is consumed in the third step. Okay. Now, I can strike this out. I can cancel this D as well as I can cancel this E. You just have to remember that this cancellation or this striking out is just to write the overall reaction. How do I write the overall reaction? By striking out these components. Okay. So you just have to make sure that your number of molecules are same. The first thing, the number of molecules should be same. So here also one molecule of D was there. Here also one molecule of D is there. Here one molecule of E is there. One molecule of E. The other thing you have to be sure about is the component. One component should be in the product side and the other should be in the reactant side. Similarly, here you can see that it is in the product side, here it is in the reactant side. So you can strike these out. Okay, and the number of molecules were also 1 1, so the whole component is being cut off. Now if you write the sum, so the reactant side has to be summed up and written in the reactant part. The product side has to be summed up and written in the product part. So you can see here one molecule of A, one molecule of A sums up to be two molecules of A, and two molecule of A is written here. Similarly, one molecule of B, one molecule of B sums up to be two molecules of B, so two molecules of B is written here, and in the product side only F is remaining, so F is written here. Okay, so this is nothing but my overall reaction. So I hope this topic is very much clear, where you can see how to determine the reaction intermediates and how to write the overall reaction. Reaction intermediates are nothing but those components which are formed in the initial step and those are immediately consumed in the next step. Reaction intermediates are not seen in the reactant side nor in the product side. Okay. So here I conclude that D and E are the reaction intermediates. Now I'll give you the example. Here you can easily find out what are the reaction intermediates. Okay. Here the reaction intermediate is N2O2. Yes. So the reaction intermediate is N2O2. Why? Because it is being formed in the first step and it is being immediately consumed in the next step. Those components are not seen in this whole chemical equation. Okay. So I'll just strike this out. So this is striked out. Okay. And the total reactant molecules remaining are 2NO. 2NO is written here. O2 gas. O2 gas is written here. And NO2. Okay. So this is your overall reaction and this is your reaction intermediate. Okay. So by this I conclude that N2O2 is the reaction intermediate. Okay. Now the next thing which we'll study here is the molecularity. So I'll first define what is molecularity. Molecularity is nothing but the number of the reactant molecules in the elementary reaction. So how do you find the molecularity of any kind of reaction? Just see that where are your elementary steps. So this is your elementary step 1, it is step 2 and this is your step 3. Okay. Next you just go with step 1. Okay, and you count the number of reactant molecules. So I see one molecule of A and one molecule of B. The total becomes two molecules. Okay, two reactant molecules in step 1. So the molecularity is 2. Okay, so here I repeat that you have to only count the number of reactant molecules and not the product molecules. Okay, you just have to count the reactant molecules. Similarly, one molecule of D and one molecule of B makes up to be two molecules. Okay, one molecule of E and one molecule of A comes up to be 2. So the molecularity of the first step is 2, for the second step it is also 2, and for the third step is also 2. Okay, so molecularity is nothing but the number of reactant molecules in an elementary reaction. So every elementary reaction have molecularity of its own. Now, every time you cannot write the molecularity in figures, when you have to write it in words, you will write it like this. Okay. So for 1, if your molecularity is 1, so you will use the word uni. If it is 2, you will use the prefix bi. If it is 2 again, bi. And if it is 3, so you will use the word prefix tri. Okay. How this becomes unimolecular? Because in the reactant molecule, the total number of molecules are 1. This whole is counted as 1. Okay, this whole molecule is one single molecule. Okay, so this is 1, so it is unimolecular. Here the total number of reactant molecules are 2, so it is bimolecular. Here the total number of molecules again are 2. How it is 2? one molecule of NO and one molecule of O3. So the total comes up to be 2, and in words you can write it as bimolecular. Here it is 3. How it is 3? Here 2 molecules of carbon monoxide and one molecule of oxygen. So total comes up to be 3. So here you can write the prefix as trimolecular. Okay. Here it is again trimolecular, 2 molecules of FeCl3 and 1 molecule of SnCl2. Okay, so I hope this thing is clear. Reaction intermediates and molecularity. I again repeat, intermediates are nothing those the components which are formed in the first step and are being consumed in the second step. Okay, formed in the first step, consumed in the second step. So those are reaction intermediates. The remaining part, when you strike off the reaction intermediates, you just sum it up and you write the overall reaction, and then you have the molecularity for each elementary step. Okay, elementary reaction, and you just have to sum the reactants up and you have to write the molecularity of each elementary step. In words you will write it as uni, bi, or tri. Okay, I hope this part is also clear. Let's move further. So here, if my reaction is a complex reaction and it is happening in the series of elementary steps, so how do I write the rate law for those elementary reactions? Okay, so let's see this. Okay, so this is your molecularity. Okay, this is your molecularity. This is your elementary steps. Okay, and these are your rate laws. These are only the elementary steps. The overall reaction is not given to you. So this is the unimolecular. Okay, this is just bifurcated. So there are 3 columns: molecularity, elementary step, and rate law. Okay, unimolecular, the reaction proceeds this way. Okay, so this is the rate law, and you write the rate law like this. You have seen this, you have studied this in the last video. For a bimolecular reaction, there can be 2 conditions: both the reactant molecules are different from each other, or the molecules are same to each other. Okay, so you can write the rate law like this. Okay, similarly for trimolecular, it is tri or ter, it both are same. So there are 3 molecules, so the possibilities are of 3 types. The 3 molecules can be totally different from each other. 3 of them are same to each other, 2 of them are same, and 1 is different. So you write the rate law accordingly. Okay. Now you must have observed here that the order is written. Okay, the order is written here everywhere, and the order is very much same to your molecularity. So yes, for the elementary reactions the molecularity and the order is same. Okay, for the elementary steps the order and the molecularity is same. Now in the last video I had stated that for writing the rate law and in the points to remember of the order is never same as that of the molecularity. That is molecules, the number of molecules, the number of stoichiometric coefficient. More specifically, I had said that the stoichiometric coefficient and the order can never be same. Yes, that is true, but that is only applicable when you write the overall reaction. When you write the elementary steps, the number of molecules and the order of the reaction both are same. Okay, so the molecularity and the order is same. So here the molecularity was 1, the order is also 1. Here the molecularity was 1 for A, so the order is 1 with respect to A. The molecularity of B was 1, so the order with respect to B is 1. Okay, there are 2 molecules of A, so the order becomes 2 because 1 plus 1 becomes 2. Okay, your molecularity with respect to 1 to A is 1. Similarly here also the order with respect to A is 1. B is also 1. Here the order is also 1. Again see the same. Here 3 moles of or 3 molecules of A are used, so the order is 3 because 1 plus 1 plus 1 becomes 3, so the order is 3. Again here 2 molecules of A are used, so 2 is the order with respect to A, and B has 1 molecularity, therefore the order with respect to B is 1. Okay, so I again repeat, for elementary steps, only and only for elementary steps the order and the molecularity are same, but for the overall reaction the stoichiometric coefficient or the molecularity are and the order are not same with each other. Okay, if I write the if I write the rate law for elementary reactions, okay, so how do I write the rate law for overall reaction which has taken place through the elementary steps or reactions? So consider this example. Here, this is your overall reaction, okay? And this reaction has taken place in three steps: step 1, step 2, and step 3. Okay, so this is your reaction, this is your chemical equation. You can see that in the bracket here in the first step it is written as slow, slowest, and fast. Okay, what is this slow, slowest, and fast? The first step was slow, the second step was slowest, and the third step was very fast. Okay, now how to deal with this and what are these things? Okay, so these are nothing but the speeds of the three steps. Okay, now whenever you see the slowest step, that slowest step is nothing but your rate determining step. I'll explain you this. ओके, जब भी आप कभी कोई मूवी देख रहे हो, सपोज कभी आप कोई मूवी देख रहे हो, तो वो मूवी अगर आपने फास्ट फॉरवर्ड करके देखा है तो बहुत सारी माइन्यूट चीज़ें आप मिस कर सकते हो। बट अगर आप वही मूवी को बहुत स्लोली देख रहे हो तो आपको सारी माइन्यूट चीज़ें उसमें बहुत अच्छे तरीके से दिखाई देंगी। मुझे मालूम है कि वो बहुत बोरिंग भी हो जाएगा, बट वो आपके मतलब आप उसमें बहुत सारे माइन्यूट चीज़ें देख सकते हो। ठीक है, यहाँ पे भी सेम है। द सेकेंड स्टेप इज वेरी मच स्लो, ओके, एंड you can observe the rate very carefully here, how the rate is going. So you can write the rate law by the slowest step. Okay, so I conclude here that rate law is written for the slowest step, and the slowest step is also known as rate determining step. The short form for it is RDS. Okay, so in many questions they do not write the rate determining step as whole, but they write it as RDS. Okay, and what is RDS? RDS is nothing but the rate determining step. And how do you find the rate determining step? It is the slowest step in your reaction. Okay, so whenever you find the slowest step, you can write the rate law for overall reaction. So for overall reaction, the rate law depends upon the slowest step of that elementary steps which are followed to give you the overall reaction. So here the rate law is written as KNO2, okay, and NO3. Again, the molecularity was 1 for NO2. So here the order with respect to NO2 is 1. The molecularity with respect to NO3 was also 1. So here the order for NO3 is also 1. Okay, I hope this part is clear. I again repeat, elementary steps. Okay, whenever you write the elementary steps, the order and the molecularity are same. Okay, for elementary steps only. And whenever you write the rate law for overall reaction, you have to find out the slowest step, and then you have to write the rate law. The slowest step is also known as the rate determining step. So I hope this much is enough for this video. Okay, so stay tuned for the next few topics for of the chemical kinetics. I sign off, and thank you so much.